Court is expected to announce its ruling today on the abortion drug mifepristone. Earlier this month, a ruling by a Texas judge halted the nationwide distribution of the drug. The Biden administration appealed that ruling last week. The Supreme Court put the ruling on hold as they decide whether to allow full access to mifepristone while the case is appealed. California Governor Gavin Newsom says Californians can count on reproductive freedom in the state.
This simply would not be happening to men and boys. This is an assault on women and girls and their fundamental rights and freedoms, period, full stop. And that's a hell of a statement.
Newsom also touted several bills aimed at ensuring residents will still have access to safe and affordable reproductive care. It includes protecting pharmacists within California that dispense mifepristone, even if the High Court suspends the drug's FDA approval. President Biden is extending an invitation to the White House to the black teenager from Kansas City who was allegedly shot by an elderly white man last week for ringing the wrong doorbell. 16-year-old Ralph Yarl, who's still recuperating from his wounds, received a personal call from President Biden and is reportedly looking forward to taking him up on an invitation to visit the White House. The feds are out with new numbers on illegal immigration, showing a spike in March on the southern border. The head of Homeland Security said in a hearing that they're working to reduce the flow.
We are working very, very closely with our partners to the south to address the reasons why people leave.
Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas told the Senate that the American economy continues to act as a magnet, drawing people here. Michael Kastner, NBC News Radio.
Good morning and welcome to Coffee Ann, the longest-running panel discussion show in American radio. To make a comment or ask a question of the panel, call 401-766-1240 or email coffee@woonsockеtradio.com. And now, let's join the Coffee Ann panel.
Good morning, everybody. Coffee Ann time around the world and across the nation. And Dave Richards here in the moderating chair because Joe Callahan's on personal business today. Took a personal
I was
day
just
off.
going to sing Up on the Rooftop, but you went for a different song, but same theme.
I know. He announced it the other day. That's the only reason we know it.
Yeah. And so he's on personal business today. So he's not here now. And he said, Dave, guess what? Guess who's doing Coffee Ann on Wednesday? And I said, you? He says, guess again. And I was pretty much down to it, so I figured, me? He says, yes. He says, but, you know, I took it easy on you. Last week, we didn't have any of our regular panelists on the show. This week, he says, you'll have Tim Draper from Navigant Credit Union.
Good morning, Dave.
Good morning. And Melissa Smith from the San Antoine community.
Not quite as tan as Tim.
Well, I'm not
Holy
that tan.
cow.
I'm wearing a short sleeve
He's
shirt
got the
today, though.
summer glow.
Hoping for the summer.
And the empty chair representing candidate John Ward. All righty. Well, and we'll no doubt have some great conversation today because we have two great conversationalists with us at the panel, and I'll do my best to hold my own. And in the meantime, let's get into the business part of the whole thing. Melissa, what do you say? A message?
Well, you know what? Last week you did a
represented them
great job.
so ably. Oh, you mean you're talking about my
You did a great
my
job
explanation
pitching
of the
last
continuum
week.
of care?
Yes.
Straight from Mr.
love
Webster's
it.
dictionary.
I love it.
Yeah.
And you know,
okay.
if that's going to be what I'm known for is my tagline, like
Your
the continuum of care,
care.
I'm
Right.
okay. I'm okay with that. Whenever you
Okay.
hear it used for another, industry, business, whatever, you're always going to think of me. I'm okay with that.
All right. We'll live with it.
So let's talk about that continuum of care. So at St. Antoine Community, we have a very expansive continuum of care. We range in services from assisted living to short and long-term skilled care. We have a state-of-the-art rehab center, private hospice suite, as well as a large secured memory care unit. And on our property, we have two buildings. One of them is the Villa at St. Antoine, which is our 76 apartment assisted living facility. And we have our 180-bed short and long-term skilled care facility called the Residence at St. Antoine. So if you're presently at a crossroads with your loved one and trying to determine when is the right time to seek more help and support, reach out to me. I'd be happy to walk you through your options and teach you all about our continuum of care. You can reach me at 401-767-3500 or email me at msmith@santantoine.net.
You're going to need a sign over the door as you walk into the San Antonio community.
You've
Says,
arrived
welcome to your
at the
continuum of care.
And you know what else? You know, the most wonderful thing is you can have some. There's got to be some sort of slogan for this, where you can actually say, you know, everybody has to make the decision. Sometimes you just don't want to keep up the household anymore. You want to get rid of the house and stuff like that. Here's an idea: change your address only once for the rest of your life.
Right,
Because
that's
we got
true.
you covered.
Right, from-
In sickness
It
and in
is in
health.
a nutshell. Sickness.
Sickness
You're going
and
to
in
get
almost like
married to
getting
St.
married.
Antoine Community. We'll have a ceremony.
That's
Well, you got a chapel.
Yeah,
It's
we
true,
do.
you do.
You got a bishop.
We do. We've got lots of options for
them
people
all.
who can conduct a service.
That's right.
I know, you're so right. So Saturday was fun.
Did you go
By
to the
the way.
website and see your picture and your
The
interview?
terrible picture of a terrible angle of me. Absolutely, I saw that.
Well, it was actually a
Tim's gonna
picture
look
was-
up.
I'm going to look at
the
that right
picture
now.
was of another booth, and you had your back turned to us because you were gabbing with
yeah.
Amanda LaRose.
I was gabbing the
And poor-
entire time.
And poor Christian was standing there saying, "Geez, how come she doesn't like me?"
Oh no! He and I had a good talk too, because I'm sure you're aware that he's going to be a dad,
I was not aware of
having
that.
a baby in
And,
July.
and Melissa was saying, "Don't do it, don't do it."
No, that's not at all. Amanda and
Hurry
I
up
were
and do it.
overjoyed because he's having a girl.
Oh, good for him.
And so we were just, of course, we were giving him all the love in the world, and then we were preparing him for what's to come. And then I
This
said,
is the greatest thing ever.
it's
But
all
wait till
great
this happens.
until you reach 11, 12, I'd say, maybe 12. But no, we had a great day on Saturday. It was a very busy stretch. I would
Yeah.
say a little, maybe around 10:30 it
Well,
started
you
to
weren't
pick
there
up.
last year. Last year we had a big glut.
Yeah, you mentioned that.
Because we opened later in the day and people were lining up an hour ahead, banging on the doors a half an hour ahead. Finally, we let everybody in, but it was 4 and 5 deep at the tables. And how
Yeah.
could you possibly engage them all?
Yeah.
This year, all the vendors were telling me they found that were there last year said that this is much improved because we had a steady stream
Yeah.
coming in. So there's always somebody there.
Yeah.
But you could sit or stand or whatever you were doing and then talk with them.
Yeah,
And,
I love health fairs, and honestly, it speaks to you all as well. The audience that you have, they listen. So there were some folks that listened to us on Wednesdays, and they wanted to come out and ask some questions about our continuum of care, which was great. And it's nice to have that one-on-one moment because not everybody's situation is standard. Everyone's got kind of a unique scenario happening at home, and they need to walk it through, and they need to have some sound advice. And Amanda felt the same way. Like people were just coming up and trying to get advice, and that's what these events are all about. It's that one-on-one moment. So yeah, it was a good event.
So, Timmy, you can go check up on Christian and Amanda's
I will.
interview. We went around and interviewed everybody
So that's on the
and put
on
the
this,
interviews
website
on the
of
radio,
station?
and then we
Okay.
posted them online next
Okay.
to the picture of the booth.
All right, that's good.
Amanda had the best tchotchkes. I'm just going to let you know.
Did she
My
ever?
car is all equipped with Navigant gear at this point. So
My wife used to get when I was in charge of marketing, which was many moons ago now, January. My wife used to get so mad because one of her friends, particularly at Bryant when we do the women's fair, we have a friend that works at Bryant, and we'd go over to their house and she'd have some Navigant thing. My wife was like, I don't have that. I said, well, yeah, why would you have it? Well, Kathy's got it. How come I don't have it? You work there. I said, yeah, well, I know. When I worked at
it's
Tire
all about
Pros, our cars
advertising.
weren't inspected either. That's the problem.
It's all about giving it to other people because
I
it's
know.
advertising.
I know.
we
I
were
know.
comparing notes a little bit on, I love going to health fairs and grabbing other people's stuff.
Yeah. Well,
Just so that you can kind of go back. If
I
you're in
should have
marketing,
done that.
you
People
know.
keep telling me about that, and I saw the wonderful things there. I came by with a microphone. I'm doing my work. I didn't fill any bags.
Oh my
I get
gosh,
it.
that's the half hour before the event officially starts. That's what I do. I walk around and I say hi to
Yeah.
all my peeps. There
makes
was a lot of
sense.
friends that I have that were in attendance actually, and I take their gear and I go back and bring it to my office, and then I decide like what I might want to order that's similar. You steal the ideas of others.
Well,
but
that-
Amanda's was top quality. Just letting you know.
That is, I will tell you, also having been responsible for that area, promotional items and stuff, it gets hard and harder and harder because everything is just kind of reinventing itself a little
Yep.
bit. And it's so difficult to try to find those things. We actually, the folks that do it now at the credit union are great because I think there's more than one. And then we have a company now that helps us work through logistics of getting them to the branches. Because at one point, it was my team that was literally packing 50 things in a bag, then putting them in the courier's office, and the courier we're going to... Well, when you have, 10, 15 branches, you can do that. But when you have 24, and
Or
they're
30.
from Woonsocket to Westerly...
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
It becomes just such a challenge to do that. So this company actually does the logistics for us. They warehouse a variety of different items, and then they ship them out to each branch individually. So
Well, I will assure you that she is, by all accounts, she is a mom, and she ordered or picked out items that were all very mom-based, which made me
Yep.
so happy. So
Yep.
there's a car trash can, like a mini
she
car
said that was a big...
which,
big
Oh, that's very big.
that was a
made-
big seller.
We have ours in our Kia, and we cherish it.
oh my goodness, my kids got in the car this week, and they're like, what is this? I'm like, it's a trash can for the back seat. My car stayed clean all weekend. It was
I'm gonna
fantastic.
tell
It's such
Amanda
a
that.
silly
She'll-
thing, but you're like to have a designated spot to dump all of your wrappers and gum or
That's-
whatever.
it's entirely true.
And I had a little Febreze air freshener thing. So with all the odors
right.
of the cleats in my car all weekend, I was like,
And
this smells
shoes.
great. Yes.
Yeah.
And
Oh.
eyeglass cleaner.
Can we take a
yeah, that's
microphone
right.
out there and check it out now?
Let's go for a walk. I know.
We got a
Bring
live
your,
remote from
bring your
Melissa's car.
nose, and we'll go sniff my car.
Well, maybe next time.
No, shit. But anyway, so I stole all three ideas. But the eyeglass
yeah.
cleaner, fantastic.
I need to.
I know
need
people
that
were
one.
grabbing for that.
Yes.
Yeah, I gotta get some.
That was a good one. It's all in one. Had the little. Anyway, so we're talking about tchotchkes on the air. We're probably boring everybody listening,
Well,
but
whatever. We hope
Well,
that
we're hopefully enticing them to go next year to
planting
the
the
fair.
seeds for them to show up
Right.
next year.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yes, indeed. And we don't know. Will we have to do it more than 3 hours next year? I don't know. We'll examine everything later on. Right now, we're sending, I think it was yesterday or Monday, Joe was sending out little questionnaires to all of our vendors, our participants, our partners in this effort, and saying, okay, what'd you think about the earlier hours? What'd you think about how many hours? What'd you think about the gang that came? What'd you think about our work to make you comfortable and help you get set up and everything else? How would you think about the Elks? And all that sort of thing. We're taking all that back, and then we'll have a little powwow about it all and
Yeah.
see what we can do. Because, I would have been happy if this was a one-off thing last year, but they said, oh, no, do it again. And we found some ways to improve it. And I'm being told right now, when you do it next year, we want you to do this. And we haven't even really decided to do it next year, but I'm saying, why not?
yeah,
right.
I think so. I've been to a lot of health fairs in my 25 years of working in senior services, and I have to tell you that a couple different formats have worked over the years that I've been to better than others. I think your venue was great. The space was great. The group that you brought in was great because there weren't a lot of duplications of services.
We tried not, yeah.
And I'm referencing back to East Providence Senior Center used to do a great health fair that I loved, and it was always midweek. It was like a Tuesday night, right before the summer, right before people were heading out for summer vacation. So I want to say it was like mid-May, and they ran it actually from 4 o'clock to 7. And
Yeah.
it just hit a perfect window for people who were either like, grabbing information on their way home from work or might work a little bit later. And that time slot in the
you
evening
think on a
midweek
weeknight
was
later would be better?
I'm
we
not
thought that-
changing I'm sharing my feedback for a health fair that was very well attended, and I think the time slot worked for a lot of adult caregivers that are
I know, but
gathering
does it
information.
work for the people coming?
So your audience is either like people who directly need information about Navigate and healthcare services, or it's an adult caregiver, someone who's kind of, because you had a lot of health venues
We had that, yeah.
represented. So I guess depending on what your audience that you're looking to attract is, either it's people who are
We got to attract them
working and
both
they
or
need
we're
to
dumb, right?
Yeah.
It's a matchmaking service. And if you don't have both sides,
Right.
it's not working.
Yep.
Right. So I don't know, something to think about. Or even if people are listening and they couldn't make it on Saturday, but they wanted to go, why couldn't they make it, and what would have worked for them?
Yep.
So
very
survey
good.
the other way around.
All right. Well, thanks for discussing it. And now, before we get you started on your next message, I have a question for you.
Okay.
Because I figure that you'll know this because you have a young family and you have people who are around you who are into what's happening now. Today, it started a couple of days ago, but today I found myself particularly out of touch with reality. And I felt like such a fool. And I said to myself, there's a private joke going on here, or I'm really older than I think I am. And it's something that's being used in television and radio commercials. And one ran this morning on my station. And it's a phrase that I don't understand and no one's explaining in the commercials. Spring Black Friday. They're saying it. They're saying it in the commercials for Spring Black Friday pricing, like it's something I'm supposed to know. And they don't mention any particular prices, but they mention it's Spring Black Friday pricing at the XX place.
Really? Huh.
And I'm saying,
Tim's
now,
looking it up.
that's bordering on rude when you start using terms in your commercials
Right.
that you don't, that everybody doesn't get. It's like you're excluding people and it's a private joke. And I felt really left out with that term Spring Black Friday. Now, right away, you're crinkling up your pretty little nose and you're
I have
saying,
no
what
idea.
on earth
Yeah.
is Spring Black Friday? Tim, of course, being the more industrious of us three,
Well, you were
immediately
talking,
went
so
to
I
his
had an
cell
opportunity
phone
to do
to
that.
try to look up Spring
You
Black
need to
Friday.
feel comfort in knowing that I'm not hip either. I have no idea what you're talking
But
about
you-
either.
Well, this makes me feel a little better because
Because you think I'm hip, and if I don't know,
I was born at a date earlier in the century than you were, so I figured, well,
okay.
maybe it's
Well,
me.
this is the explanation.
hang tight.
Oh, Tim's got it on his phone.
I do. Spring Black Friday is a major event for home and garden stores like Home Depot, Lowe's, Sears, Walmart, and others.
Gardening.
Spring Black Friday starts on the last week of March and runs through mid-April. So it must be a big sales event that they have
For like home and garden.
for home and garden centers. Yeah, but it doesn't sound
Well,
like
who
it's
started this,
particularly
and
a
why
Friday.
didn't they explain it to people? Why do they just talk over everyone's head?
Well, they probably have bad marketing people. I don't
Yeah.
know. I just yeah. So
Don't get me
it's
started on
basically a
advertising
website. It is a,
It's their
there's a
chance to
website.
do a duplication of what, boosts
Right.
the economy in the fall right before
Yep.
Christmas. So this
Black
is their.
Black Friday will be on Friday the 26th. Oh no, that's an old one. Sorry, but it's been going on since 2021 because that is.
Then we're definitely not hip then.
Yeah, we are not hip.
We're 2 years
so
removed from
it's-
knowing about this.
Right. I guess it's like that Black Friday in November, right?
Didn't it
When
used to be called Memorial Day weekend? Wasn't that
Yeah,
the big
that
home
was
and
the
garden
big-
sale
well,
day?
They got to start earlier now.
Now
this
it's
is
Mother's Day
they've
leading into
created-
Mother's Day.
They've created some sort of a thing out there. or
But
they're
you
trying
can't
to.
go out right now and buy all your plantings. It's foolish. Look at the weather patterns
Right.
we've had. We just went from having 90 degrees last week to 40
But
degrees
you gotta
last
go.
night.
You got to go buy your new gardening tools to make sure you're all
And
ready to
33
go.
tonight.
You got to buy the
And 33 tonight.
fertilizer. Actually, this is a great time to plant grass seed
Yeah.
because it's cold nights and warm days, and that's the best way to plant those. So yeah, that sounds
So
to me like
I
it's a new
feel-
manufactured holiday.
Yeah, I feel, but yes, like a Hallmark holiday,
Mm-hmm.
Right, like a Hallmark holiday.
That's interesting, and thank you both of you for making me feel a little less
you
out
are-
of touch.
Do not feel out of touch. I was like,
was
what are you
just-
talking about?
What on earth, Dan? My goodness,
Your audience is out there going, geez, Dave, we all knew what it was.
you think they are? I went on the
No,
air
I
at
don't
quarter
think
of 7 this morning, and I said, "All right, if anybody understands this, call me right now." Nobody called. I'm saying nobody out of the tens of thousands of people listening in, nobody called to explain it to Dave. So I'm saying to myself, well, the Coffee and panel will know.
We did. We didn't actually know. We had to look it up. But
I didn't think it was. I should have connected the dots that it was going to be a home and garden thing. But I was thinking in my mind, just knowing the economy, mall status, anyways. Big box stores like Macy's, JCPenney, they're hurting. You go to the mall right now, they're hurting. So I was thinking this was their spring attempt to boost the economy and boost sales in their stores when they're really struggling right
it is.
now.
It is real. It's interesting to think of the evolution of shopping. How
yeah.
it used to be the mom and pop stores, and then Walmart comes in and takes out the mom and pops,
Yep.
and really kind of creates that the Target, the big box stores where you can get everything you need to get in one location. Makes that a lot easier. Malls came in, took away all of those, freestanding stores, downtown Providence, where you used to go and visit the clothing store, and then you'd go next door and you'd, pick up some flowers, and those stores got knocked out by the malls, and now Amazon comes in and killed the malls. So now you got all these big giant mall buildings that you're going, what are you going to do with these? And in North Attleboro, I guess they're talking about Emerald Square, converting
so
that
bad.
to a And I remember the arguments people had for putting that there in the first place. It was just
Wasn't
such
a
a struggle.
marshland, wasn't it?
Right, it was.
So structurally, it wasn't.
And
even.
they didn't want it. The neighbors didn't want it. It was just going to be an eyesore. And no, it's the greatest thing ever. And you know, at the beginning, it was. It was a place to go, and it was a destination. It was so much fun. And then, now that Amazon is in COVID, which even accelerated Amazon more, in the online shopping space, you've killed all these big places. And now, what are you going to do with these big buildings? I think there's a solution to some housing issues there, as well as in smaller retail environments. But stores like Macy's, like you said.
Oh, it's awful. And it's, it's interesting how down here in Rhode Island, we're not little Rhode Island, but I'll go to visit family up in the Boston area. So you have like North Shore Plaza, South Shore Plaza. Those malls are bursting with activity. And I feel bad for my kids because there's no mall to hang out with their friends that I feel like is safe. You go to Emerald Square right now and it's so empty. It's just, it's a shell.
I don't even like going to the Providence Place because, number one, the parking garage is always been a disaster.
And honestly, everybody's vacated out of there and moved down to Garden City. Crate and Barrel and Party Barn, all those stores are located down there now. But I was hoping what would happen is, I'm hearing rumbling that there's going to be fees attached to returns now. So some of these stores are going to be, because that's all I do is I buy online. I have a busy life with two crazy kid schedules. We buy online, we try on at home, and I return in the stores. So all I go to malls for and stores is to do a return.
Stuff, right.
And I've been hearing that some stores, actually Amazon as well, is going to be upping, I guess, fees attached to returns. And I thought, well, that might be a clever way for some stores to bring people back to the stores again, is to increase the return policy and, force you to come into the store again, try things on in person.
Yeah.
Maybe it'll boost the malls again, but I'm not sure. No. I think it might be too far gone.
Consumer buying patterns, I think, are just changed. People are, like you said,
they're busy.
Busy moms, busy dads.
Yeah.
They don't have time for things. They're working 2 and 3 jobs to make ends meet. It's just easier to jump online.
Yes.
It's easier to be right here, go to my Amazon app, order what I want,
and
have it at my house the next day.
Yeah. And if you walk into Walmart to get a birthday gift for a kid, like a toy or something, you're walking out of there with $200 and other stuff that you
didn't want.
You just went in for the gift and then you're like, oh, I need this, I need this, I need this. So at least online shopping makes you more focused and a little more direct. But it is interesting how it's changed completely. Where will we be 10 years from now?
I know.
I can't even imagine what it'll look like 10 years from now.
It will have changed 10 years from now, Melissa. Thus it has been for generations, my friends, and changing. The National Association of Broadcasters are finishing up their convention, their yearly convention in Las Vegas. I would have loved to be there, but we had to work here. I just couldn't get away. And one of the things that everybody's talking about, AM radio isn't what it used to be, and some manufacturers aren't going to put in their cars anymore, and oh gosh. And everybody wants to hold back the hands of time. And I said, 33 years ago, in July, it'll be 33 years ago, me and some very close friends put all our money in a hat and bought this little AM radio station in Woonsocket. But you can't just sit there with a little AM radio station and expect everything's going to be fine. We figured the whole thing would be bust in 5 years. We better build something around it. Yeah. And so... gee whiz, streaming is killing over-the-air radio. Well, guess who was into streaming in 1998?
Yeah. Right.
Building a streaming business alongside the over-the-air broadcast. Am I frightened? No. Yeah. The only if you're frightened of change, don't get into business, friends. Right. Because you're in the wrong place.
That's what we said about banking 25 years ago. The online banking the branch was going away. It was going away, and here we are today building new branches because people
want
connection.
Yeah, you still need people.
They do, but you're making them different. You're not making them the pillars of gilded, gold cages and stuff like that. No, you've got to change.
Right, it's pod based.
Yes.
It's more consultative.
Right.
We want people, have multi skills so that you could. You're not going to just a teller anymore to get cash. Then you go or make a deposit, and then you go to an MSR, and that MSR is going to work you through a loan application. We're trying to make this sort of that again cross-trained staff who can kind of do it all. Yeah. And it's a lot of work for them, but I think they get it, and they think they like the less repetitive nature of the
Sure.
of the business.
We got to get to a second message,
Oh,
Melissa,
sorry.
so stand by. But let me just tell you one more thing that happened to me yesterday. I think you're going to smile, Tim. Yesterday I was doing I made the deposits at the Park Square branch in Navigant Credit Union, as either Denise or I do every day, it seems. And so I came up to Pat's teller window, and she's in the co-pilot seat yesterday, and young Miguel is in the pilot seat.
Well,
A
a little training going on.
little training going on. And as I approached the window and I mentioned, hey, Pat, you're in the co-pilot seat. That, yes, this is Miguel. Introduces me to the young guy.
Yep.
And said, Miguel, this is Mr. Richards. He usually does this, this, and this. Get ready for that. Put your screen on that.
Yeah.
I mean, you ain't going to find that anywhere else.
Yeah.
And that, and the way we run this radio station compared to some of the others, I wish wouldn't do what they were doing, this is the difference. This is the change.
Yeah.
This is what you get when you evolve, listening to your customers and knowing what they want. And when you have a continuum of care, you address the fact that people don't ever want to move a second time.
And speaking of
They-
continuing
Come
of
get
care,
married
if we
at St.
have-
Antoine Community. We're gonna go back
spend your
to
life
Espresso.
there.
If we have to move once, we'll bring the car, we'll move in, we'll have the yard sale because we can't fit it all in the smaller apartment like that. Everything will be fine. If you get sick, you stay in the same property, except of course it's a hospital. But you come right back
He's
to the same
angling for my
property.
job. That is literally a conversation I have on a daily basis with our
Exactly.
caregivers. Yeah, because they don't want to move mom and dad multiple times. Absolutely.
Who would in their later years want to move from place to place to place to place?
Right.
Nobody. Saint Antoine.
Go. And it has nothing, I'm going to be talking not even about St. Antoine Community in this next spot. I will be talking about the fact that I will be in attendance and offering the invitation for folks to stop by and see me. But I did want to highlight that tomorrow is the 12th annual Caregivers Journey Conference at Crown Plaza, and it's free for those to attend that are caring for a loved one in the community with Alzheimer's. It's a great event. We've been a participant for the past few years.
What time is that?
So it actually is running. I thought it was 9. It's a good thing I double checked. It's 8. So 8:30 to 4:30 tomorrow for guests to attend. They're going to have vendor tables set up, which is what I'm offering up to the audience to stop by and say hi to me. I'll be there along with our memory care unit coordinator to answer questions that you have about, preparing for the placement of a loved one in long-term care or how we can support you prior to. And I've mentioned on the air before, I've been in the industry a long time out in the community serving folks to stay safe at home as long as they can. So I give free advice, soup to nuts. If you're not ready for long-term care, I can at least help guide you and direct you on what your options are out in the community. It's a complicated process to navigate on your own. It's hard to understand all the resources involved. So come by, see me. I'd be happy to help you out in some way, or at least direct you to one of my colleagues out in the community and see how they can help you out. If you have any questions, you can call me at 401-767-3500 or just stop by and see me tomorrow, Crown Plaza.
Very nice. Yeah, it's in Warwick, and you can get it right
Warwick.
off the highway.
It is pretty easy to get to.
Very, very easy.
And
really.
a well-attended event, and they always bring wonderful guest speakers. And it's just, even for myself as a professional, you can never get enough education on what's going on with Alzheimer's and research.
So I
and
have a friend who's a caregiver. Should tell her, zip down there.
Absolutely.
All right, very good.
Yep.
That's very helpful.
Yeah.
Always helpful when Melissa comes, don't you think?
If
I do.
possible, she should try to register if she's going to be there for the day through lunch. It's free for her to attend,
I think she'll have to work. So,
but if you're just popping
may
in
just-
to
yeah.
steal some, goodies off the tables and some brochures and get free advice, yes, it's open to the public.
Beautiful. All righty. We'll be back right after our first break here from Coffee Ann. I just looked at it and it's almost time for our second break.
Ed Carew here of the Carew Investment Group at 68 Cumberland Street in Woonsocket. Our telephone number is 765-8880. If you're looking for an investment firm that puts you first and works hard on your behalf, I'd like you to consider us. We're right here in Woonsocket, and we've been in business since 1987. So you don't have to go out of town for an experienced advisor, or work with an advisor based in Boston, New York, or who knows where. Someone you'll probably never meet. We encourage our clients to come to our office and sit down with us as often as they like. Why? Because we like to do business the old-fashioned way. We want to get to know you on a more personal basis so that we're more attuned to your financial needs. So if you're interested in speaking with us for a free, no obligation consultation to find out how we invest your money, call us, Paul or myself, at 765-8880. Securities are offered through Bolton Global Capital, member FINRA and SIPC, and advisory services offered through Bolton Global Asset Management, a registered investment advisor.
The Coffee and Panel is enjoying coffee from Down East Coffee in Pawtucket. They're a 62-year-old family business that roasts all its coffee right here in Rhode Island. Founded originally as Excellent Coffee Company, they provide great coffee to food service establishments throughout New England.
ON Radio.
You know, when you're paying the right price for protection, you just know it. It's that warm, fuzzy, totally secure feeling, knowing that you're not only getting great coverage, but you're also not paying too much for it. And when it comes to your insurance, there's no one better at getting the right price for your protection than Allstate agents Kara and Celeste Benjamin, because they know when it comes to your bank account, every penny counts towards something bigger, something better. Like a nicer car, that home update you've been dreaming of, or a phone that's fresh out of the box. Those little or big things that we work so hard for. And Kara and Celeste Benjamin want to help you work a little less by getting you the coverage you need and the savings you deserve when you switch to Allstate. Contact Kara and Celeste Benjamin at the Benjamin Agency. One agency, 2 locations in North Smithfield and Bellingham. 765-5000 for a free quote today. Allstate, you're in good hands. And you're in good hands with Kara and Celeste Benjamin at the Benjamin Agency. Savings vary based on the average annual savings reported by new auto customers surveyed in 2019 who switched to Allstate. Krakow Deli Bakery and Smokehouse offers authentic homemade Polish food to make your next meal real special. Try our many varieties of hot and fresh pierogi with onions and dirty sour cream, or pick up golubki, kielbasa, babkas, or some fresh rye bread. We also offer a large selection of specialty and imported goods. We're open Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays from 9 to 6, Wednesdays 9 to 5, and Saturdays 8 to 5. Follow us on Facebook to learn about our weekly specials. Located at 855 Social Street in Woonsocket, Krakow Deli Bakery and Smokehouse has all the authentic Polish foods you love. And at the Krakow Deli Bakery Smokehouse right now, today, the Wednesday special is 3 fresh, hot golubki with choice of sauce for $7.99. Go to the Facebook page and you can see more. Let's take a look at the forecast here for you on behalf of the nice folks at the Compassion International. Families in poverty are facing a global food crisis. $50 from you if you can spare it. Provides a food kit to feed a family for a month. Just text the word radio to 97646. Mommy, what's a radio? Increasingly cloudy today with a high of 56. West wind up to 24 miles per hour. Tonight, partly cloudy, low of 33 degrees. It'll be chilly tonight. And tomorrow, mostly cloudy and gradually becoming sunny. Exactly the reverse of today. Today starts off sunny, gets cloudy. Tomorrow starts off cloudy, gets sunny, and a high of 67 tomorrow. So that's pretty good. And let's see. Dave, don't forget to mute your phone. Friday, sunny with a high of 77. Saturday, mostly cloudy and 73. Sunday, 60% chance of showers, cloudy and 63. Sunday night, 70% chance of showers, mostly cloudy, 48. On Monday, 40% chance of leftover showers, but partly sunny and 59. And on Tuesday, partly sunny with a high of 58. Presently outside our Navigant Credit Union broadcast studio here on Park Avenue at the corner of Kennedy Street. We are up to 47 degrees, up from our overnight low of 43. That's 47.5 degrees at 8:31 in the morning.
Here's what's coming up next. Greatest Hits USA.
Hey, this is Chuck Matthews on Greatest Hits USA. And coming up this weekend, we're going to answer the following questions. Who remembered a girl from school? What singer scared his mother? And who had the #1 record this week in 1977? Find out. Turn it up this weekend right here.
Greatest Hits USA.
I just texted my friend who's a caregiver, Melissa,
Yeah.
about your Crown Plaza event that you were talking about in your second message. And she says, yes, I know. I got that information at your fair on Saturday.
Oh. I was directing people to their table to go get more information as well. Because the
Wasn't
Alzheimer's Association was
Yeah.
there representing, yeah.
All righty then.
See,
see?
connecting the dots.
Connections.
Yeah,
Lots
so
of
I
connections.
It's a
didn't,
continuum.
so I didn't. I
My
didn't
network
have,
is very broad, so
I guess
utilize
so.
me if you need any contacts.
So I
yes.
didn't have to text her.
No, she
and
knew.
I didn't have to get the ding that she got my text afterwards while
Yeah.
I was in the studio.
Oh,
Who's the fool now, Dave?
I know.
Hey, listen.
Yes.
Can I do a quick shout out for Krakow Deli?
Yeah. Oh,
My
yeah.
son-in-law, who is Polish
Yeah.
or has Polish heritage.
Yeah.
I got a call. He goes, "I'm coming down to Woonsocket. I got to go to there's a Polish place, a
On Social
Polish
Street.
deli that I need to go to." And I'm like, "In Woonsocket?" And I
Oh,
went,
gosh,
Krakow?
yes.
And he goes, "Yeah." I go, "Ooh, that's a pretty good place."
Yeah.
And then when they got back, I guess he
I'm
gets some
due to stop
pierogi
by
or
for some
something
more
like
schnitzel.
that. He came back. He was telling me, he goes, that place is fantastic. They got all the authentic,
I know.
legit Polish.
I have not been there,
Oh,
and
it's-
now I feel like some samples need to be delivered. So
Okay.
can we work that out for
Come
next
out here.
Wednesday?
I see. Well, I can ask Christian about that. We don't have the facility for warming and serving and all the rest of that stuff, but
I'll bring in my microwave.
no, okay. But that would be delightful.
Mm-hmm.
And all my life I had never had schnitzel until a few months ago.
Oh,
and I
yeah.
just tried it because I usually get the golubki and pierogies and stuff like that that I know very well from my childhood. Schnitzel I didn't know from my childhood, but I said to myself, somebody just told me to buy, and I did, and it's gorgeous. Oh my goodness, it's
never had it.
Tangy meat, garlic. Oh, do you like garlic, Tim?
I do.
Some people don't. Denise doesn't care for garlic, but I adore garlic.
I like garlic. Garlic does not like me.
And oh, I see. But garlic aids with the digestion.
Yes.
And so anyway, so I'm big on that. I love it, love it, love it. So that's Krakow. Now it's time to talk about one of our other favorite places, the Navigant Credit Union. Tim,
boy.
you're in the hot seat.
40 time for a message?
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's talk a little bit about your kids, your young people, and the young people in your lives who and it might be a grandchild, it might be a son or daughter, could be a brother, sister, but we are all about financial well-being at Navigant Credit Union and the financial well-being of our members and our families, our businesses, and communities. So we want to make sure that we're providing service levels that we can provide, including the products and services that they need. So this new account called Embark, and we've talked about it, is a youth account, and you can get it if you're 13 years old until you're 22. That's the window for the account. Once you hit 18, there's some new services you can get as part of your Embark account, but until that point in time, the biggest thing we're finding is that kids love this debit card. They love to have a debit card. So you could be a 13-year-old with a debit card, and the Embark account is going to throw some protections in there for you and for your parents and for the guardians that you have that will not allow you to do some crazy things, but will allow you to have conversations about why, for example, the card doesn't work if you don't have any money in your account. Right? It's not where we're not giving you credit, and we're not doing any fee-based
Kiddos, think of it like a gas tank in the car.
Right, exactly. When it's out, it's out. So you got to get your job, whatever it might be. And of course, it's not. We understand that it's always been about saving money, right? Kids always have to save money, save money, save money, save money, and that is true. But the reality is, kids are going to spend money. So
Well, you got to teach them how to spend it
Right,
wisely.
if they're
and they
gonna
have
spend it-
make a few mistakes here and there to
Correct.
learn.
If they're going to spend it, we want to have an account that really kind of helps them manage and navigate this spending and saving patterns. And the Embark account does exactly that. We like to say that it's for the self-made teen. So if you've got a job, you get some allowance, something happens that you get some money, we suggest that you...
Like a youthful Dave Richards.
Like a youthful Dave Richards. Put that money away. I always like the 50-50 rule. That's what I told my kids. Some people have a 60-40 rule, but mine was 50-50. You take half of whatever you got for your birthday into the bank. The other half, you can go out and buy your Xbox or whatever.
We had a 30-30-30.
Well, there you go. What's the other 30?
Well, there is 30% in savings,
Yes.
30% investment,
Oh.
30% foolishness.
Okay. Well, my kids aren't doing investing yet, although they're all old enough now that I think they actually are.
And
They're probably
investment
doing better than the old man. by the
Investment
way.
might be buying a tool for work or
Oh, I see.
buying a book
I
for
see.
school
Okay.
or
Something
something else like that.
responsible
You're
and-
spending money, but you're doing it for a purpose.
Right.
So there's saving for later.
Yep.
There's buying for a purpose,
Yep.
and then there's spendthrift. Go ahead, have some fun.
Have some- right.
You got some money, you worked for it. Go let off some steam.
But what's important to teach young folks is that there is a formula for that. You need to think of both things or all three of those things, depending on your situation. So this Embark account is a youth account that really will help have those conversations with your young folks. And again, it's $10 to open up the account at the credit union, like all the other accounts, and they become a member too.
And it's trust but verified, to quote
Trust
an
but
old
verified. Old
president
Ronnie
of the
Reagan.
United States.
Right.
Before we started having crazy ones.
We will be at Navigant next Saturday for my daughter turning 13.
Awesome. When she gets here,
She
we
is
can-
very excited.
we can get she can get a personalized debit card. I can show you how to do that.
She's
And
going to want to put a picture of her dog on it.
She can.
That is the discussion.
I'll give her
that
one
we
of the,
have
I'll give her
had.
one freebie.
He's
They
a
all
really
get one
cute
freebie,
dog,
so-
and I can understand why she wants to do it.
Yep.
So can I do that as a grown up? I didn't
You can.
even
It
ask
costs
you.
you $10.
You want a picture of her dog on your card?
Listen,
My dog.
you as a grown up, it costs $10, but
You
your
know?
kid can get one for nothing.
All right. All right, folks, let's talk about stuff, shall we? We've been having so much fun just chatting.
Talking about a lot of stuff.
Oh, well, you knock it
There's
off.
Dave's phone again.
I like-
Turn
you know
the
what?
sound down.
I
I-
know.
I-
Jeez Louise.
Turn the sound
I
down.
like the, I like
Obviously,
the
I'm
tone.
unworthy.
I want to fill Tim in on something while
I
you're
have to
playing
mute-
with your phone over
No,
there.
I got it on vibrate.
We're going to
now.
take over the show for a minute. So, one of the things that came about on Saturday by sitting and chatting with Amanda, and actually I dragged Denise into this as well. So I don't know if you remember this conversation or not, Dave, but we're going to have Women's Wednesday. So we're going to actually
sure.
kick
I
all the
heard
guys out,
I heard
and
about this.
Amanda and I are going to take over the air.
I heard about this.
And Denise, because she does know how to navigate the buttons and the important stuff over on that side of the room. But we think we'll have a rotating panel coming in and out. But Amanda and I will be the hosts.
Oh,
One Wednesday a month to talk about women topics. Kick the boys out and talk about what's going on in women's world today.
so Dave, who does know how to run the station? Just out of curiosity. So Denise knows, you know, Joe knows.
Yeah. Well, we all know more or less different things.
Yeah.
Denise does know what all the buttons and switches do. If something doesn't do what it's supposed to do, she's not as practiced at solving the issue.
Yeah.
Joe is a little level above Denise.
Yeah.
I built it, so I mean I can
We
get
would
it
hope
to
you would
do
know,
something.
But you
so
can't turn the ringer off on your phone, so I'm a little worried about that.
no, I turned the sound down on the phone. But you see, what the problem is, you get different phones.
Right.
My original phones, you turn the sound down, you get no sound. On this smartphone, which I was obliged to get to when the 5G conversion came through, I've never cared for this phone. But anyway, this phone here, you can turn the sound down all you want. But you also have to go inside and change the settings so it just vibrates.
Yeah.
In addition to turning the sound down.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I missed that step.
The world's complex.
Okay. Well, anyway, so you asked the question about who can run the station. Don Burnell can run the station. There's Ben Eno can. There's a whole bunch of people.
Yeah.
You know, Bruce Palmer could run it. Gary runs it all the time.
Yep.
Yeah, Gary's the one who sits in the chair here. So yeah, there's a whole bunch of people who can
Community
run the
Care
place.
Alliance folks, they have
Yeah, that's
they
right.
school
That's
that.
right. Wendy knows how to
Amanda
run
and I
it.
are very bright, and we are very fast learners, but we just, thought we should shake
So
up
I got to
this format.
sponsor another show. Oh my God.
There's nothing wrong with a program like that if it serves a purpose and people would like to listen to it. I have no problems. But again, I remind you what my mother would have said. Shame on you for being so sexist.
You women.
And my mother said this to ladies. Shame on you for being so sexist. We're all in this together.
Yeah.
You know?
Amanda and
You see
Melissa.
me laughing at
Yeah.
you, right?
So
I have
it's not-
sat on
it's
this
fun.
panel with all you boys for almost 2
But
years, I would say.
we're not trying to be
I'm
boys.
letting you know.
have an important part in all of this to make a full, complete whole of conversation. You bring your life experiences and orbits to the table, like Tim does and I do, or John would. Or Joe would, and stuff like that. So you see this just like that. But my mother taught me it's not right either way.
How's John doing?
You guys don't be just
Yeah.
guys. You guys be open up to everything. Ladies be open up to everything. And together we build.
I think John would love this idea.
Why?
I do.
He would be excluded. Why?
I know. We
why
did
would
talk
John
about
Ward,
invite-
Why would John Ward like to not be part of it?
Well, we actually even talked about the idea of having John's wife, Mrs. Ward, come on the air,
Mrs.
and
Ward,
Mrs.
right.
Draper come on the air,
Oh,
because
boy.
Amanda actually said Mrs. Draper is quite a bit of fun.
Yeah, she is.
And I would love to meet her, and then have Denise, and I think it would be fantastic.
Oh
So
boy, the
next
wives.
next week at 9:02,
wives.
come on in.
The wives.
Have some fun. You get till 9:30, and then Gary takes over because that's what the schedule dictates.
Oh, it's like 30 minutes. Whew.
You want to come in? You want to come in on Mondays? You can have an hour.
We got to work on this format a little bit, but we'll get back
do.
to you with our plan.
Okay.
But
Get some
I
airtime.
love your
Dave's got a
open-mindedness.
new show.
Yeah. I mean, if it's good radio, it's good radio. So put it on the air.
Love it.
My mother would scold me, but whatever.
Yeah, she'll be all right.
You think so?
No. Old school.
Mom hasn't changed a whole lot.
Yeah.
All righty. So you're walking along Pennsylvania Avenue with your family. You know what's coming up next, don't you?
Maybe.
Right. And you're there with the kiddies. Oh, there's the White House. That's where the president lives. And this is Lafayette Park. That's where the drugs are dealt. And you know you're in. And there's the executive building over there where the vice president works. Blah blah, and like that. And your toddler decides to go on walkabout.
Ooh.
A toddler that is small enough to squeeze through
the
the
fence?
iron bars of the black
Stop
fence
it.
around the White House grounds.
Wow.
That is
A
awesome.
toddler who successfully gains access to the White House grounds and is successfully detected by Secret Service people.
Wow. Wonder how far they got. How far did they get?
That is awesome.
That's a funny story.
I'll read you the story.
All right.
A toddler is responsible for causing a bit of commotion at the White House on Tuesday. The Secret Service told The Hill, which is a publication down there, that a child was able to squeeze through the fence on the north side of the grounds. Officials said the child made his way toward the north lawn as his parents were on Pennsylvania Avenue screaming for him to come back.
Oh,
But they couldn't go and get him.
That's right.
The White House restricted access during the incident. All right, all exits closed.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Somebody hit the red button. And President Biden was present in the White House at the time. So, of course, they take this extremely
Yes.
seriously. The parents were quickly reunited with their little trespasser as Secret Service agents gained access to the toddler. And, it doesn't say exactly where they gave the kid back to its parents, but they actually invited the parents inside for a little questioning first, a little admonition first, and then gave the toddler back to the parents.
How do you blame the parents
Yeah.
if the kid gets away from them and squeezes through the gate?
100%.
That's not fair that you're going to blame the parents for that. And if Joe Biden had any sense of humor, he'd have come downstairs and gone, "Hey, now listen, young person."
I was thinking the same thing, but I was actually hoping that he was, taking care of some very important matters and not able to come down. Is there still a double wall on the lawn? Because I know the last time I went to D.C., there was the black wrought iron fence, which I'm assuming is what
Right.
the kids slipped through. And then
Yes.
there was like a white wall, like a 10-foot wall beyond that. That was
Well,
when Trump was in
I
office.
was there a year or so back.
Well, he was building a wall.
I was there a year or so back, and as I was there on Pennsylvania Avenue, that's the north side, I remember there was the wrought iron. They got Jersey barriers everywhere. So what do you call a wall?
It was
I
a
don't think so.
wall. It was like it definitely obstructed the
No,
view, not
no,
fully of the White
no.
House, but it was definitely like a
No, they got Jersey.
second.
First of all, they back in the Clinton administration, they cordoned off Pennsylvania Avenue. You can't drive on that stretch of it. So it's all people
Yep.
and Secret Service people and folks
Yeah.
with guns and doggies over there and
And the
like that.
protesters and
Right.
And yeah,
Yeah.
and
Oh, yeah.
protesters too. Yeah, it's a fairly wide sidewalk.
Yeah.
But now you also have the street. Protesters are usually in the street.
Yeah.
And the Secret Service and Capitol Police try to keep the protesters back so they don't interfere with the view of the White House. Okay, that that's all common sense to me.
Yeah.
Let's observe everybody's rights. You go over there and make some noise and have some fun, and you folks over there want to see the White House, you can. So there's Jersey barriers everywhere. Let's put it this way: I could not have, without stepping over Jersey barriers, gotten to the black wrought iron fence where I was at the time I was there. But if I had gone through the fence, I had a free shot to the fountain
Yeah.
and from there to the portico and into the White House. I mean, they'd shoot you before you get that
Yeah.
far. But anyway, a big old guy like me, I mean,
Well, you're not squeezing through the wrought iron fence.
yeah.
Can you imagine
No
the
offense.
picture that the parents might have taken, like as it's happening?
I
You know,
would've taken that
picturing if
picture
I'm taking a
first,
picture of
but-
my kid, and then all of a sudden he starts to slip through the fence, and you're like,
Hey,
"What?
wait a minute.
What?
This
Just
could
keep
get
hitting.
complicated.
Oh my God!
boy.
What a memory maker.
Oh boy.
Yeah,
Oh,
the kid's going to
gosh.
grow up and not remember it, but I'll tell you, he'll be reminded of it.
You know, I don't
Wow.
think there's a white. I don't think there's. I was there a couple weeks ago, about a month ago actually, and
I'll see if I can find a picture of it, but
Yeah,
it
we
definitely
went to-
was like obstructed the view of
there's
the White
there's
House.
definitely Jersey barriers that are in place, but they're not like. I mean, you could squeeze through them. You could walk through
Yeah,
them. Right? They're not.
you could get by
locked
the Jersey
together.
barrier, but
Right.
you knew better as an adult not to do it.
Right, and then you could walk to the black iron fence,
Right.
and that was there. And I think that was it. I don't
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
that there was anything else there. Now there are certain areas that are really taped off, but right across where St. John's Church is, which is what we did. We went to church that morning, which was
Cool.
really interesting because I think it's Episcopalian, I think.
Okay.
But inside the church, this is just a totally crazy story, but inside the church, there are kneelers
Yeah.
at the pews, and there are kneelers for every president. They're needle-pointed crocheted kneelers with the president's name on them,
Really?
and so that's what you would kneel on. Yeah, there were 45 of them.
Very
kidding.
cool.
Yeah, I didn't
That's a
know any
fun
of that.
fact.
My Gary Furtado, who used to go every year to the hike the hill for credit unions, actually went to this story he tells. I love it. It's he got up really early one morning to go. George Bush was one of his favorite presidents. So he and a couple of the CEOs would get up early in the morning on Sunday, and they would go to St. John's because they knew that President Bush went every Sunday. So Gary went in with the two other guys, and they were to just let him go in. Right now there were people around, but they let him go in.
Sure.
He goes, all of a sudden, in the corner of the church, on the other side of the altar, in comes George and Laura Bush. Mm-hmm. They walk right in, walk right across the front, walk right down the aisle. President Bush pats Gary on the shoulder and then sits behind him.
No kidding.
Swear to God.
What do you do if you're Gary in that moment?
I think he was like, and then the sign of peace.
Yeah.
Turned around and gave Gary a big handshake, and then Bush went around and shook everybody else's hand in the church. So apparently, not a ton of people at 7:30 on a Sunday morning go to
Yeah.
church, but yeah,
I mean,
and that happened 3 years in a row.
But they're people too,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
I mean, they're just regular human beings. Most of our
Pretty
presidents have been. I'm not sure about Mr. Bush, but I mean, no.
Mr. Trump.
Well, that'd have been a funnier joke if I'd have said Trump.
Yeah. No. So,
but just regular people, really.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. It was really cool. It was really quite something he said. So every president has a kneeler with their name, and it's needle pointed, crocheted into this.
That's
into
super.
Into this
I
kneeler.
love that detail.
Yeah.
That is nice.
That's a fun story.
Yeah.
It is.
I should have taken a picture of
We
it.
need a second message from Navigant
Oh.
Credit Union, Tim. Otherwise, we won't
Yeah.
be able
No,
to do
public,
the same
quick
trick
public,
next time.
Quick public service announcement. We are again seeing an uptick in fraud and scams that are out there. We had one member who made several withdrawals from her account over a period of time and was asked to do deposits to a crypto bank. I heard just the stories we hear sometimes that then the people can get themselves into is really, it's unfortunate because people certainly are preying on the insecurity of folks at this time. But be skeptical is our message. If you're getting these calls from people that you don't recognize, even if you do recognize them, don't feel bad about saying, okay, I'm going to call you right back. Hang up and then call the person that you know back. This happens all the time with the grandparent scams that are out there. A lot of times they'll say, your grandson is in jail or granddaughter's in jail and we need to bail them out. You need to send us $30,000. We're going to put it in this crypto account or whatever it might be, and they'll instruct them how to do it. The people come into the credit union. They tell us that they need a $30,000 bank check, and we start probing and asking questions. Please don't be offended by the fact that we're asking you questions. And even if you need $30,000 to buy a car, please don't be offended by us asking those questions. We're asking them for a reason. We want to make sure that you're not getting caught up in something that you shouldn't get caught up in. So we try to protect our members. We try to make sure that we're asking the important questions without being invasive, but understand that there's a lot of bad people out there. There's a lot of shady characters, and we're just trying to protect you from that. So first line of defense, protect yourself. Second line, count on Navigant to be there to try and help you protect yourself. So navigantcu.org, 233-4700. On the website, you could also go and look at our security resources, which are in our resource center on the website.
Thank you, Tim. Navigant Credit Union brought this portion of Coffee and Conversation. We'll be right back.
Dr. Jeffrey Dodge says it's important to have regular dental checkups, especially to check for periodontal disease. You may be having apparent symptoms without knowing it. Some visible symptoms include occasional bleeding of gums, loose teeth, and receding gums. Your dentist can diagnose this problem early through regular dental visits. From Dr. Jeffrey Dodge, Park Avenue, Woonsocket at Park Square, 762-3044.
Stay on top of your vehicle's maintenance. Good advice from State Line Service and Tire and their full service, including suspension systems, transmission maintenance, heating and air conditioning, emission control testing, and addressing computer problems. Don, Kevin, and Sean believe in staying on top. Check their website for money-saving coupons, StatelineAutoservice.com. They can also provide your service history and automatic service reminders. State Line Service and Tire, 1209 Social Street, Woonsocket.
It's time for the annual Breakfast with the Saints at the St. Anne Arts and Cultural Center. Enjoy a breakfast buffet under the center's magnificently frescoed ceiling. The breakfast will be held on Sunday, April 30th from 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. Tickets are $20 in advance or $25 at the door. Tickets are available at Belo's Flowers, Creative Impressions, The Honey Shop, Timeless Antiques, Vos True Value Hardware, or visit the St. Anne Arts and Cultural Center website.
All righty then. All right. Did you know that the Air Force, as soon as they got that guy from Dighton,
yeah, that's a weird story too.
Right, who had the secrets and put them online.
21,
ruined
right?
his
The kid
life.
was 21.
Yeah, ruined
And
his life.
Now, what I didn't understand was there's a component of this that talks about him playing video games and doing first-person games and uploading. Did he think that he was uploading these documents
to be part of a game?
Well, to be part of the game, yeah, and not thinking that somebody was going to be. I don't know. There's an element to it that makes me wonder what.
Right
what he
away,
did.
people were questioning how a young guy. So young would have sensitive secrets,
and I said that's a big issue.
I said no. To me, that was just a stupid question, a totally stupid question, because the guy is in an intelligence wing of the Massachusetts Air National Guard. I'm sorry.
But
his
that's the point.
Qualification is intelligence.
Right, but he's
so you
21.
can't keep. So what? If
You're saying how new is he?
I'm saying how
Is there
new
a
is he?
great
How much
period of time
how
before
much
you're given
experience does he
access?
have?
I think a more proper question is how old do you have to be in intelligence,
Okay,
in
that's a good
military
question.
intelligence?
Fair.
But, so you could say that, but the fact is that he was, and so why would you ask why? How could he have access to these intelligence things when he works in an intelligence
You're right.
department?
You're 100% right.
That I thought was really incredibly stupid. But obviously, there's more to this than
He
meets
just
the
called
eye.
you stupid, by the way. I don't
I
know.
know.
If you got that.
I'm living it.
And there's more to this than meets the eye, because the 102nd Intelligence Wing of the Massachusetts Air National Guard has now had their mission reclassified. They are no longer interested in intelligence. They will not be doing any intelligence work for the Air Force. They'll be doing something else, counting cars in the motor pool or whatever. But they no longer will be doing any intelligence. That is the entire wing, not doing any intelligence work whatsoever.
Is that
What do
a
you think?
hand slap?
Good
Or
For
is
a
that
21-year-old kid.
Good idea? Bad idea? What?
Well, I think that there needs to be a reevaluation of their security protocol.
Right.
I mean, that's the first thing.
Okay.
I guess I'm trying to understand. Is that like a hand slap? This is like their penalty. They're now not going to have.
No, it's doing something that we can do because everyone's demanding that we do something.
Like put it
You've been in those situations
Yes.
before. But you just got to do something, even though you'd like to let it slide because. All right. Do you like mushrooms?
Well, I do. Depends on
Timmy,
what
you
kind
like
of mushrooms.
I do on pizza.
Oh, I didn't expect you to go there.
Well, get ready. The massive winter storms that drenched California's landscape are fueling a mushroom explosion.
Maybe that's the one thing the price will come down on.
Yeah, the unusually wet weather has created ideal conditions for shrooms that thrive in Southern California, and the moisture is bringing out so many varieties of fungi that they expect the prices will be going down.
Oh, Excellent.
They're actually one of the few things that I've bought. Like my whole life, I've bought mushrooms. I make lots of things with mushrooms, but I mean, I never saw them inflate in price. Actually, they really haven't changed at all. I mean, whereas like tomatoes and cukes and other produce areas have gone up tremendously. No,
As a
mushrooms
younger-
have really not been touched.
I did not like mushrooms as a younger person, but I don't know if it was a texture issue or what. But I'll tell you, as I
You're
get older,
such a
they
fun
just
guy.
they have I have enjoyed them tremendously on pizza
Yeah, just pizza.
and in salads and some other things.
That's my hidden ingredient in my homemade meatballs. Portobello mushrooms.
Really?
Minced.
Oh,
Yes, with
That's
roasted
fascinating.
garlic
I
in
never
my
went for
meatballs, and
portobellos.
it just makes it very meaty, extra rich.
I like stuffed mushroom.
Yeah. Oh, me too. Yeah, yeah. I'm big on mushrooms. Fabulous Denise doesn't
How
care
about
much for
mushrooms in a burger? You know, like
Yep,
mushrooms
I
with,
do.
with Swiss
Steak and
cheese.
cheese. Steak and cheese.
Steak and cheese is nice.
Yesterday I was dining with a friend and we had they had a mushroom burger and I was eyeing that, and then they also had a meatloaf with mushroom sauce.
Oh,
I bet that's good.
That was my
That sounds
choice,
good, too.
and I had that for lunch and I had it for dinner because it was way too much.
big.
well, where did you dine?
A friend of mine calls it the hamburger joint,
The hamburger joint. Okay.
Twin Oaks in Cranston.
Oh, very nice.
He calls
Not
it
a
the hamburger
hamburger
joint.
joint.
That's almost sacrilegious for people who love that place. But yeah, there you go. All right, what else? Well, you got people getting in trouble for cheating people on their tax returns. What else could we talk about that's just... How about the Bengal tiger that was found in a house in San Diego? Nah, let's not talk about that. Let's talk about the Dialogue Boost feature on Amazon Prime Video.
Dialogue boost.
Do you need Dialogue Boost?
Well, if you're listening to Ted Lasso, sometimes you
Oh,
need it.
you-
need,
oh my
need
God, you sound like my husband.
You need subtitles for
You
that.
do. That's what he says. The accent just is not processed in his ear.
Well, there's just two characters on there that I'm like, oh my god, what are they saying?
Are you struggling with this season? Have you started watching this season?
I have. It's it's weird. It's a little weirder
I'm waiting for it to pick up.
tonight.
Well, it
will
allows
tonight.
viewers to click a setting to increase the volume of what's being said in relation to the background music and effects.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's,
okay.
that'd
Yeah,
be a good
maybe.
idea.
Dialogue Boost will be initially shown on The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel,
Hazel. Yep.
Tom Clancy's Jack Ryan, and on films such as The Big Sick and Being the Ricardos.
Being the Ricardo. Oh, that's
Amazon said the feature will be available on more titles throughout the year.
Wonder how it's. I wonder if it's like digitally enhanced, you know, with the,
Well, you know
the
what?
picture, but now they're doing it with the voice. How do
So
you
they-
go back and?
Cars have that feature that when you're driving so there's certain features in your radio that you can program in some cars that as you drive faster and the road noise gets louder, the volume increases on your radio.
Oh, yeah, that's been a feature
And then
since the
it'll-
90s, really.
Really? See, okay, I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either. I'm
and
gonna
then
pay
it'll come
attention.
down as you slow down and the noise volume goes down.
It annoys the heck out of me. I shut it off.
Well, I never had it on, so I'm
Yeah, I just turn
Turn
up
it
the
up.
radio nice and loud, and I don't have to worry about it.
right. Turn it up, turn it down. That's real lazy man driving when you don't even have to touch your radio.
There you go. All righty. Well, Melissa, the time has come for us to hear something profound and conclusive from you.
You got nothing.
Continuing
I am.
I got nothing.
You got nothing. I'm on 5 hours of sleep and 3 cups of coffee. Oh, now I'm on my 4th cup of coffee. So
Oh.
I'm out of any kind of words of wisdom other than hope to see you all tomorrow.
Yes.
Yes.
Down in Warwick. That's
Yes.
really nice. And Tim?
Well, Dave, it's beautiful weather out there. I'm wearing a short sleeve shirt today, so everybody go out and enjoy the God-given day.
Good idea. And thank you. We remember Jackie Boudreau.
We do.
All right, it's time for us to end our program, folks. Thanks for being with us today. If you missed any portion of our program today, you can pick it up on demand at wonsocketradio.com just as soon as it all gets rendered out. That's maybe 10, 15 minutes from right now. Stay tuned, friends, because coming up we have the Wednesday edition of Gary and his crew, otherwise known as the Do You Remember Show, coming up along here on ON Radio, and lots of other fine programming for you to enjoy till we meet again tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock. Make it a good day, won't you?
So mannerless language.
Broadcasting live and local daily from the Navigant Credit Union broadcast studio at the corner of Park Avenue and Kennedy Street. This is WOON Woonsocket Radio. And now, the news. Funeral arrangements for Providence State Senator Mary Ellen Goodwin have been announced. Visiting hours are tomorrow, Thursday, from 3 to 8 p.m. at the Russell J. Boyle & Sons Funeral Home on Smith Street in the capital city.
Funeral Mass will be Friday at 11 a.m. at St. Augustine's Church, Mount Pleasant Avenue. Goodwin was 58 years old when she died Saturday after a 4-year battle against colorectal cancer.